Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to focus on 2012 Paper 1 Part A, past paper. So if your score is high, don't be overexcited yet because this was one of the simplest one. And later on you will find out more and more challenging reading articles. But by the way, we have to accumulate our experiences, so let's learn together. And so as you can see, here's some suggestions for you guys. As usual, you are suggested that just scan everything in 3 minutes. And here, one step is missing. Can you see it? Scanning the questions before reading the article carefully. So over here it says that to save time to scan, maybe rather than highlighting anything, you just scan with your bare eyes. Maybe that's the way. But sometimes to save time, you are suggested you can highlight definitely. Either underlining or highlighting is also alright. But no matter what, you just have a few minutes to go through all these steps. And later on, when I'm going through the reading article with you, the keyword definitely board games, but it's not over here. Instead, they're using parlor games. So if you don't understand parlor games, by scanning the article, you see board games, then you know that they are related. So that's why scanning is so important. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So after talking about the reading steps, so you can compare your scores with the 2012 batch students. So over the answer key, I'm teaching you not just the reading skills, but also how to self-learn by checking the answers. Over here, you see the numbers within the brackets. That's the passing percentage. So over here, which means that in 2012, 89% of the students got it right, and then 78% of the students of 2012 batch, they got it right. Was words, 26% only for question 2. So if you got question 2 correctly, congratulations. So you are much better than the rest of 74% of 2012 batch students. So this one, 11%, I'm going to explain to you why. And maybe I go through the PowerPoint. I will go back to certain questions. I'm not going through all, but I handpicked some. Question 2, question 6, question 19, and question 20. So question 13, maybe it's worth talking about it when I'm using my iPad to explain to you. So hold on. As you can see, 13C, the percentage 30% only. This one. Carcassonne. Maybe because of the low quality of the pictures, but somehow we can still get this answer by deduction. In 2012, most of the students, the majority of the candidates couldn't get it right. But when I scan through your answers, most of you get it right. That's good. I'm going to explain to you what happened. So over here, what does it mean? That's the question 2. Sigh of relief. Sigh here is, it ends with H, not ends with N, not sign, not signature. It's sigh. That means 嘆氣. But sigh of relief, which means that 如釋重負, okay? That's it, okay, it's done. Finally. Okay, that's the sigh of relief. So that's positive. So why you have this positive response? That's so important. If you get it wrong, if you think it is negative, sigh, one word, usually negative. But with relief, 釋放啦, which means that's positive. Why positive? Because you see no more technology. Okay, over there the cafe is so low tech. All the electronic devices switched off, unplugged. That means over there all just traditional unwired stuff. That's why you're so happy with the low tech life there. Over there it asks you, so what does it mean over there? If you just pick love board games, you can't get the gist, because over there is more than board games. It's describing the whole cafe, not just board games. So if you pick board games, that answer is too narrow. So it should be answer C, more directly. As you can see, no computer at all, low tech, switch off, unplug, so on and on. And then another question is a trap. Question 4, in paragraph 3, going back, what does it mean? So over here, the trap is that the answer key, oh, as you can see, the answer key over here, a time people played, past tense, past tense, past tense. So paragraph 3 is a trap over there. So why going back to a world without the internet, a world without lots of vivid games? So you have to use the past tense. That's a little trap over there. So unless you're using, unless you're talking about going back to the time in the past without the word past or without using the right tense, can't give you marks. So that's the trap there. Next one. So open-ended response, make sure that you have to get the keywords. You should not copy everything, but definitely you should copy the keywords. You should use the keywords. I'm going to explain to you why some of you can't get marks over question 19 and 20. Okay, 19 over there. You know what? If you give direct answers, it's easier for you to get the marks. Some of you missed this one. Over here, pastimes. You just skip it. Maybe you forget the meaning. Pastimes means hobbies. So the parents want the kids to pick up hobbies. What hobbies? The board games. Okay? Helping them staying away from TV, computers, blah, blah, blah. If you just skip this one and then just say parents want their kids to stay away from TV, and then your answer is not complete. You need to have pastime. You can get any answers here. So stay interactive, more interactive. That's more. If you miss more, no marks. Because all this over here is telling you more. They are comparing computer, comparing TV with board games. So if you are not using comparative, so you can't get marks. We need more. So the answer key over here, as you see, more, learn more. Okay, more satisfaction. So comparison is the answer. The same over here, 20. When you choose yes and no, the answers must be based on the article, and also you have to say why. More. Without more, I can't give you marks. Cheaper. 2. That's the way. And for the answer no is harder. Now, I'm going to use the iPad. So I'm going through the whole steps with you. So when we scan, it's so important for us to get the background. As I said, board games should be the key, the benefits of board games. But the word board games missing in the title. No board games here. No. But by scanning, you know, well, somehow parlor games are related to board games. So that's why scanning is so important. Scanning is so important. For time's sake, I have highlighted some, and then I'll carry on. So just like our practice, I will highlight those words into related words in the same color. But you know what? For you guys in exam, for you guys in DSE, you don't have the luxury to highlight in different colors. What I'm going to do, I just make it more vivid, more dramatic, and then you can trace the keywords. Let's say I highlight board games in blue, and then other keywords in yellow and red. But in exam, I just suggest highlighting in one color, and then you use different markers. Now, please follow me as I said parlor games. So for time's sake, parlor. You have to know the meaning parlor, what it means. So somehow it's related to board games. But if you check it out, parlor, it means the sitting room as well. So it carries lots of meanings. Over here, parlors. Okay, I zoom. The sitting room. So that means that the board game is suitable for family. Suitable for family, suitable for friends, suitable for social gathering. So we call it parlor game. So in this article, parlor games is somehow you can swap with board games. So let's move on. Well, as you can see, I try to highlight and then help you link up the ideas. And from now on, I try to stick to my a kind of reading course. Let's say I put a star, which means that's the topic shift. Over here, the paragraph 1, the writer describes that people are so happy with a world without computer, without TV games. So just board games. So that's line 6. And then paragraph 2 carry on. So what board game is? And then paragraph 3 going back to centuries without electronic devices. People have been playing board games only, mainly playing board games only. So that's the good old days. So that's why past tense needed. Over here, I put a star because it is a new message. First 3 paragraphs just talks about board games. But now, people starting, new business coming, people merging board games and cafe. So that's why I put a star, pay attention. And then the writer talks about the 2 business partners. They set up the cafe, board games cafes. And definitely, if you scan through all the article, it's just somehow quite hard selling the benefits of board games. You can't miss board games. There are lots of benefits. So if you are sensitive enough, I suggest that you can also number or highlight certain benefits. Let's say it's face-to-face. No less. If you love seeing people, you love meeting people, definitely you should play board games. And then later on, Carcassonne. Carcassonne is the game that for kids. And then if you don't know what it is, no problem, I don't know it either because I haven't played it. But somehow by describing it, you know it's a kind of board game for kids, good for kids. So, pastimes. That's the words that you miss in the last paragraph as well. Pastimes, remember, it means hobbies, interests. So sometimes, some basic keywords can save your life. So this time, the same, pastimes. Make sure that you know that's our CCA. And I really hope that you know the meaning. What does it mean, CCA? Co-curricular activities. Okay, 即係what's the difference between co and X? X, that means is out of our syllabus, out of our curriculum, 喺個學制以外 extra. But now is co, that means co-working with our curriculum. But it's just a name. You know what I'm talking about. You join the model figure club, I can call it as ECA, extracurricular activity, or I can call it a co-curricular activity. But which sounds better? Co. Don't you think so? Which means that you can still learn by joining my model building club. So that's the way to play words, and that's the way to impress the examiners. Using CCA is much better than ECA. Again, if you use pastimes, much better than hobbies, because quite a lot. Now I'm not just talking about reading, but also writing. So by reading more, you can write better. Now I'm telling you how to impress the examiners using pastimes rather than hobbies, using CCA rather than ECA, extracurricular activities. Now the next part, parlor game, repeated. So now I think it's crystal clear. Everybody should know that cafes specializing in parlor games. That means cafes specializing board games, because that's the message over here. Parlor games. I hope paragraph 4, 5, 6 helps you get it, what it means. So, and then over here to me is about the history. Here is a little history. As I said, if the TS is missing, not that clear, or the TS is super long, I think this one is the TS, or the whole line is the TS. Then to me, I will just sum it up. It's just history, right? The history of it, little history, but you know what? History is going to bore you to death. So rather than talking about the history, then talk about the real practice. Again, TS not clear. And then I will highlight practice. So how to run the business. Here you are. You pay for your drink, and then you can play for another hour. You drink, and then you get another hour free. That's it. And then I don't think it is that rigid. So maybe you can sit for hours with one drink only. And different countries have different practices, so that's not the focus. And that's our situation. We just know a few board games. And remember what I said, whenever I say but, that's key meanings coming. But when I study in the US, so a hell lot of interesting board games. So which means that, hey, ladies and gentlemen, most of us, our world about board games are so limited. Right here, right now, that is board game universe. Okay, that's the message. And more challenging than anything on the computer. It is one of the benefits as well. Over here, we talk about benefit 1. Maybe I missed some as well, but that's what I can see. Then I highlight it with you together. That is the benefit 2. More challenging. And why? Because you're facing some real people. It's explained later on. So Germany. So you see Germany. And then it's the case about Germany again. You can get lots of good games in Germany. Okay, over here. Okay, lots of good games in Thailand. So Thailand is learning from Germany as well. Prestigious award. So if you don't know prestigious, but somehow you know it, the writer is praising board games. So that is positive. 享負盛名. Okay, prestigious. So rather than just using well known, then you can think about that. Prestigious. You like a game so much, so what's the fun? It is cheap, just a drink, you can play for an hour at least. But also, if you like certain games a lot, you can take it home. Which means that you can try it first before buying. Yeah. So, I don't know. It is not directly related to board games, so I'm not going to number 3 here. It's not directly related to board games, but somehow that's the way to run the business. So we'll come back later. So, wow, learning tools. So remember benefit 1? Benefit 1 is face-to-face communication. Yeah, benefit 2, more challenging. It's not that boring, okay? You misunderstand board games. Now, let's move back. Benefit 3, a learning tool. That's what parents love to hear. And so using that Carcassonne again. So it's for kids, and then there are some descriptions. So over here, if you don't know tokens, but you know what? Right here, right now, I think this article is even much easier than in 2012 because right here, right now, I think no one has questions about Patreon. Everybody knows what Patreon is, right? And then when we talk about Bitcoins a lot, that means a kind of tokens. So tokens is representing cash or money or coins. Can be online, can be in a game. So tokens, when you play PC games, online games, tokens should be nothing new to you. So for the word tiles. So here we are, the tiles. Let's talk about the squares. Okay, to cover up. So it's talking about the squares over the board games. So tiles cover. So by the way, you don't know tiles, but you know it's about the games. So I hope it helps in this way. And then, so when we talk about the learning tool, is helping kids because it's explaining what are the benefits of being that learning tool. So to me, it is 3.1. Problem solving, teaching kids to think twice. And then there are different names, and then you can try to highlight using not different colors, but by one color or different symbols. So and you know what, or just one-sided. They're just talking about the benefits, very one-sided. That's why I say it's hard selling somehow. So over here you see a lot of satisfaction. Remember, it's more challenging. I talk about on page 1. Now here we are, we get the answer. Somehow inference questions, you can't just directly get the answer in a paragraph. Somehow you have to scan through all this. Now Why a lot of? We talk about page 1. More challenging. Here is the answer. Cause more satisfaction facing real humans in front of you. Think about that. Think about that. So it's like all the young men, if you had that golden chance to play with a young girl online, but you don't know whether she is a real one or not, right? Maybe a guy play a young girl. Yeah, very sick, isn't it? Very sick. So, but now, right here, right now, in front of you, there's a very gorgeous, pretty, charming, good-looking young lady in front of you playing chess with you. So that's the way, much more satisfaction. So if you prefer 2D, then that's your choice. If I were you, I would prefer 3D or 4D. So that's it. Now the benefits. So definitely, if you elaborate, why more satisfaction? That's 3.2, because you can not just humans. So what do you mean humans? Humans we means 3.2.1. That's the supportive example. You can play with friends, family. Okay, we move on. So somehow, to me, problem solving, just a name, another benefit. Promotes sharp wit, logic, and skills. If I were you, I would better remember this TS. It is good. So don't just say that it makes us smart. It makes us smarter. Oh no, give me a better TS. Promotes or enhance or boost sharp wit. They are good. So another patron, hard selling as well. So it's good for your brain development because we see intriguing effects on. Nice preposition. Remember effects and then we use on. Good for brain development. Good for teamwork. Good for society. So which means that question, I think question 19. So lots of benefits you can talk about. So all this can be the question 20 answers. So all the benefits of board games to support answer yes. Question 19. Why are board games making a comeback? Give one reason from the text to support your answer. Well, I think all these are related. So you can't get any answers you want to. You have to pick answers in paragraph 22. Because over there it says that how can you compete with the latest Xbox, iPad? How can you? So then the following paragraph is explaining how most likely parents are playing a main role in the comeback. So you have to pick the answers for question 19 in paragraph 22. Yeah, over here they discover old-fashioned games much better. Then you find out, you give me the specific reasons, so it's good for teamwork. Then 1 mark given. Okay, and over here again, a lot of satisfaction. As I said, you play with your family and friends. It's more challenging. So, all accepted. Okay, so come back. Very complicated. Oh, by the way, because I'm teaching you reading and writing, so remember my friends and I. Not I and my friends. Wrong. Formally speaking, you have to say my friends and I. So let's move on. The last column. So pleasant socializing. Okay, pleasant socializing is also about that parlor games, family games. Good for communications. You have your well, it is echoing this point. Echoing this. You are playing with your friends, your family, with human opponents, and then definitely it is good. Yeah. You have human opponents, then it is good for you to have that kind of pleasant socializing. Excuse me. Pleasant socializing. And the funny thing is that you can also learn by watching. So you enjoy playing and also enjoy watching. So that's the message. By watching. So to save time, I'm not going to go through everything, and this one is about cards. So definitely, it is easier for you to spot this one, and maybe it is hard for you to get the Carcassonne. But I don't know this one. Is it Dessert? So I don't care, but you know it is a kind of board games. And another expression, the more, the more. Okay, the more you play over here, the more you play, the more you learn. Improve vocab. Wow, is this 3.5? I can't remember now. Oh, 3.4? Yes, 3.5 now. So, how can parents stop from loving board games, right? So, there are lots of benefits. Very appealing. So, when you talk about question 20, so the question 20, can board games compete with computer games? So when you answer yes, definitely, well, there are a lot again. So from parents' perspectives, but make sure that when you are talking about from parents' perspectives, from 3.1 to 3.5, make sure that when you talk about the past times, that's 3.6. So don't miss the word past times. Don't miss it. If you miss it, then it will be a little bit incomplete compared with the writer's meaning. Don't you think so? So all this here are the reasons that why parents would like their kids to play board games. And surely you should not copy whole paragraph, but you must copy the keywords. That's well, finally, I would like to talk about the vocab. And the trouble here is that you never mentioned you can directly copy or not. So then at least you have to complete with so over there the questions never says that you can copy or not, but somehow just one word to fill in, so you better complete according to the article. So over there the answer is that cafe specializing. I keep on talking about it. So just like there is a cafe specializing, so using gerund to link up two ideas. And I also explained to you the parlor games now in this article is the same as board games. So buy one drink, get 1 free hour to sit and play any game. So these two, 65 and 78%, pretty easy. But compare with this one. So remember, there is there, we use gerund. It's the same logic. We are in a cafe doing what? Okay, we are opening a business doing what? So use gerund to complete the answers. So over here, cozy, comfy, informal language. More formal answers, comfortable. And it should be easy because adjective is describing what? Adjective is describing nouns, right? A pair of dice, the next one, I think almost directly copy. So, but sadly, this one, 70%, maybe running out of time. But now here, I would like to highlight is the hint. The hint you get is you are comparing to what? You are comparing adjective. So it is something compared to we see computer games, but still lots of fun. So over here you see adjective. So you better give me an adjective here, cause one word. If you give me a noun here, you have to give me a and the for that noun. So it doesn't make sense at all. So in this sense, adjective low tech. Low technology is the best answer, cause over here is comparing adjectives. Okay? I repeat, if you use a noun here, you need to give me a and the, then noun. So, but each one you can just fill in one word. It is impossible for you guys to fill in a and the, and then with a noun 2 words. So give me low tech, please. and then the rest high scores. So please remember, when you are doing the blank filling, you have to check out the part of speech. You scan everything fast, check out the part of speech and tenses. It may help you to get the correct answers. So, kind reminder. Now it's close to the end. I hope that you can refer to my YouTube video, then you can rewatch and pause whenever you want to. Now, I would like to highlight a few last pages about the PowerPoint. And well, we are going to do B2 soon. I hope that you can, by learning, by what you learn from Part A, you are not going to repeat your mistakes in Part B. And don't be overexcited, because 2012 is one of the easiest past papers in HKDSE. There are more challenging ones coming, because that's the very first paper one. So that's why I think HKEA did not dare to set anyone too challenging. Now, some reminders for you guys. Okay, over here I have to explain. Some of you talks about fun. Let's say if you say yes, then you say fun. Fun is not accepted unless you're telling us how fun. And also you need to highlight more fun. That's the message, the key message in the article. That's comparing. Remember, you have to tell me in comparisons. You have to tell me more. Oops. You have to tell me more without more and then adjective, long adjective, or without er is for the short adjective. Funnier. Okay, I'll say it. Example. Funnier. But still fun, that word is too simple, as not specific enough, so it will not be given marks. Another thing is that some of you say that, hey, there are a lot of different varieties of games. Varieties or selections not accepted, because two sides they have varieties. As you can see, there are a lot of board games year by year. So you have to tell me more than just varieties. You know, understand? So you know what I'm talking about? You have to justify. If two sides they get that benefit, so that's not strong enough to support your side. You have to choose something more than that. So that's why we need to use comparison, okay? And also more varieties, not mentioned in the article. More varieties of games not mentioned. Computer games not mentioned. I mean, more varieties of computer games not mentioned. So you can't highlight that point as the answer for no. Next one, sorry. Beware of grammar. As I say, question 6. That's a trap asking you going back to the days without computers, without electronic gadgets. So you have to use past tense. That one is special. And from time to time, hey, here it says that the grammar points. Sometimes you can still get a mark with careless grammatical mistakes or even careless spelling mistakes. Ridiculous, isn't it? But somehow it's going to change from time to time. So what we can do, we play safe. Sometimes they are so rigid for certain questions. Sometimes they're so lenient. So what we can do, don't rely on others' grace. You have to be very, very prudent. Zero tolerance to your misspelling. And also your mistakes over grammar and spelling. And give us sharpest answers. Not just common words using fun. And then I really hope that I can give you a slip of self-analysis. You can check out what are your typical mistakes. And there are always like that. Certain questions coming again and again. Let's say, asking you another title. If I ask you another title, what can you give me? As I said, definitely board games, okay? The strengths of board games, the return of board games, blah blah blah. So when you are reading, you can also bear it in mind. When you are reading anything, coming, no matter new or not, no matter it's familiar or not. Whenever you're reading, you have to ask yourself, are there any topics? As I said, if sometimes the TS is missing or too long, you write yours. You write your TS there. You write your subtitles over there. It saves your time, helps you sum up the ideas, and remember the format. And then the tone is so important. Who are the readers? Bear in mind. So over there, I think that's the general public. And sources of the text is also important. Sometimes some answers are over the captions, maybe under the picture. So don't miss the sources of the test. That's the examiner's score, examiner's comment. If you would like to get higher marks, you have to read the examiner's comments as well, and then it may help you not repeat any stupid mistakes anymore. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to talk to me or leave your comments over the private comments, or leave your comments. So see you. Bye.